surfing the web with cake. What's cake? Welcome to another Fiberific weekly live chat. I am got another new setup, so bear with me while I adjust to things. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, all that sort of thing. I've set a thing up directly under my camera, so hopefully I can read the comments without doing this all the time. It's kind of the plan. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. We'll certainly see. So first thing I have to do is actually make it so I can read the comments. So, where are the comments? Are you guys commenting? Let me have a look. You're sounding and looking great. Thank you. And the whole idea didn't work. It's just showing my face and what the video is and not actually showing any of the comments, which is really frustrating. Oh well, that idea was an idea. It was showing comments while you guys were there before. Zoom. What do you mean by Zoom? I'm confused. Good morning, Naughty Little Skein. Did your new cameras not work for you? Yeah, the new cameras are all logged in, but it's and we've got this one working here. We've got another one up there that's going, but it's more that so that I can read the comments without having to look at another screen. And so I set up my phone basically under here, which is where I'm just going to see if I can just bear with me, guys, while I just try and make this work for us, and we'll see what's going on. So where do we go to see the chat? Hang on, I've got to turn the phone on its side. There we go. Live chat. That's it. Okay, the chat's coming up. Woot woot. Zoom is another live chat. Yes, it is. It's just different. All right. I think it's working. I think I could read the chat. I think I could look at you guys, but there is emergency chat just right here. Chat doesn't show in landscape. It does, but you've kind of got to scroll up and down in the right spot, and I didn't know where the right spot was until here. Okay. Good morning. Sorry. So welcome to live chat now that we've sorted out the technical stuff. I am sitting in the Fiberific shack because it's hot today. It was 20 degrees at midnight last night, which was too much. It's too hot. I don't like it. I woke up feeling grubby and gross. So I basically didn't sleep very well. So I've got the aircon on running. So I'm sorry if the noise gets the buzzing gets annoying, but there's not a lot I can do about it because the reality is I'm not turning it off. It's too hot for me. I'm already a baby. Allegra says it's already over 30 here before 9 a.m. so the aircon's on for her as well. Well, I'm glad. Spanner Chick says we've got 35 forecast for today. So yeah, it's not good. Now I can't look I'm not going to tell you guys who these gifts are for, or the gift. There's a singular gift that well, there's two gifts. One, you know who it's for, one. Anyway, because I'm going to show you Dad's hat where I'm up to with that. I'm not quite finished with that either. Wasn't it yuck? Roll on Yucko Summer. Absolutely. That's right, Leanne. Good morning, Black Pearl Knits. Now, one thing I wanted to say while I remembered is tonight is Caffeinated Crafters. For those of you that are in the Greater Brisbane region and are willing to jump on a highway, we meet up at the IKEA cafeteria thing. It's probably got a name. I think they call it the dining hall. From 6:30 onwards, and we're there until they kick us out at 8:30, 8:45. So if you would like to come and join us, everybody is welcome. Bring some craft. Come and sit down. We tend to sort of sit in the same sort of area, which is basically just as you get off the escalator, you can normally hear us. We're pretty loud and rowdy. So I'd love it if you could all come. We had a fantastic week last time, and I had a really good time. So, you know, replicating, totally want to replicate that. Guys, I had to powder today. When I was doing the screen, like the testing, I was so shiny. So now I feel like I'm like over powdered. So I'm sorry about that. I just saw myself, and it's just like, okay, so that's weird. Rowdy, us never. No, we're never rowdy. We're never rowdy. So, yeah, so we've got all that going. And now I'm going to pop into, like, first of all, I've got my, sorry, the problem with this is notifications from my phone pop up. I've got my cup of tea. I'm using the T2 licorice legs. I was singing in the car this morning and thought, okay, I'm already starting to get a bit dry now. So, you know, let's get this in. I've got this. I also have a thermos of nice hot version of it to top up as this gets cold. We've got some people. Hang on a second. How come you changed locations for Crafters Night? Talia, we changed our location for a couple of reasons. One of them was it was awkward. If we had to confirm numbers and we had to have a set booking, and I would ring up. We would have like a booking that we would book from, you know, we'd book like both our meetings in a month at the beginning of the month, and then I'd ring in the morning of to go, okay, we're going to have 6 people. Then if 8 people showed up, it used to be not a problem, and then it started to get to be a problem for the staff at the coffee club, you know, and then the food quality was going down, the cost was going up, and it was like none of us were leaving there without spending around $50 if we had dinner and coffee, or dinner and a pre-drink, or, you know, a bit of dessert or something. It's like easily $50. So we wanted something that was a bit more friendly on the hip pocket, basically, but we also wanted something that was a bit more flexible so that we could just rock up. People didn't have to confirm that they were coming. If 2 people turned up, no biggie. If 15 people turn up, no biggie. There's room for everybody. So that's why we changed our location. It was a bit of a hard choice. We'd been at the coffee club there at Browns Plains for some time, but I'm actually really happy with IKEA. Yet the food options are a lot different, and you know, but I actually don't mind. I get more time for crafting. And, you know, it's, you put all your own dishes away, so you're not waiting on staff to be like, come and clear the table eventually. Like the second you're finished, you take your tray over. So yeah, it's absolutely much more convenient to be where we are. I think also it's better lighting and heaps better parking. Like one of the things at the coffee club is if we finished at 9, you have to go out to the dark car park. And it was a bit spooky, whereas here you're in the brightly lit undercover car park with full security. So I don't know, I feel better about the whole thing all the way around. Yeah, definitely safer parking. And Spanish Chick says, plus it's easier for more people to get to. You're absolutely right. A lot of people think Browns Plains and they're like, I don't even know where that is, or oh my gosh, it's all the way over there. But when they think Springwood or when they think IKEA, they're like, oh yeah, I know where that is. And it's in your brain, it's not as hard. So yeah, where are we? Spanish Chick is bringing her craft bag, so that will be cool. Because last weekend you guys had a craft along in the Fibrific Fun Zone and did some sewing, so that was pretty awesome. I was watching that. Bit jelly that I couldn't do it, but you know, I was there in spirit. And Spanish Chick says, plus we get to shop at IKEA every 2 weeks. I mean, there's that. I mean, I try really hard not to, but tonight I need some dinner plates, so I'm totally going to be grabbing dinner plates. And Spanish Chick says, spend $100 a quarter and you get a $10 gift voucher. I actually worked out that if I just buy dinner, they're like just the basic, you know, thick meatballs dinner sort of scenario, and I buy that once a fortnight, That's my $100 in the quarter, and I don't have to buy anything else. And then I'll basically get free, free coffee and dessert or something for Caffeinated Crafters. Anyway, I'm very excited about the whole thing. I love it. Sorry, Talia. I totally went on a like total different, thing. So I changed up the set behind me a little bit, and then I blocked it. So like if I wiggle over, no, wiggle this way, Chantel, wiggle this way. We've now set it up so that all of our Fibrific Limited yarn is hanging out up here. So this is all the Fibrific Limited yarn that's available. This is the last of the yarn that's available after last week's dye stream, which was a couple. We've only got a couple of the Lighthouse left. So, and it's so pretty. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. I'm like, please nobody buy this because I think I would like it. But yeah, and it's actually really reinvigorated like me to bring back an old style of dyeing that I used to do, where I'd use like some of my regular semi-solids on one side and then like a nice grey or a neutral tone on the other side. So yeah, definitely going to start bringing that back in again. So I'm really happy about that. But anyway, they're up here, and we've got our restock of what do you call this again? Leo 2 is here. And yeah, so it's all going well. The stuff down the bottom is somebody's order, so don't look at that. I'll block that. Body block. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, peeps, and put your chat in live chat instead of top chat. Very good point. Moving mine to live chat. Whoops. You can't have the unicorn speckles. It's all mine. I'm going to show everybody unicorn speckles. So this is how the unicorn speckles came out, and Kim totally bags it. And the reality is, guys, Kim does so much for us here in the Fun Zone that that I decided to, let it be part of it. I've just brought this into so we can have a good squiz of all the sparkles. But again, another thing, it's made me realize I really want to do more of this as well. I really enjoyed doing this one. I think a part of it was because there was no pressure, and it was just like, I'm having some fun with some colour. But I think it's going to just crochet and knit up beautifully. Can't wait to see what Kim makes with it. So we'll go back over here. While I've got you in the hands down, let's have a look at my progress on my dad's hat. So I've done one of the decrease rounds. I don't know if you can see it. And then, I've still got more decreasing to do. Alison says, hang on a second. Where's my chat? Chat's gone. Alison says, one knitting group I go to is held every third Saturday morning at a golf club. Small fee to join the club each year. And you get coffee and snacks from the bar or go to the restaurant for lunch. That's cool. That is the last one that I dyed up in the dye stream. Isn't that where you were up to 2 weeks? No. 2 weeks ago, I hadn't started the last brown. So I'm into the last colour, and I'm just onto the decrease now. So it's nearly done. It's like basically this much more to go. But I'm not going to work on it during live chat because it's brioche decrease, guys, and that requires some mental energy, and I kind of give you guys some mental energy, so I can't really work on anything that is just too brain intensive. And brioche is not my happy place. It's becoming my happy place, but it's not my mindless knitting place. Move your mouse away. Oh, sorry, is it bugging you? Yeah, so it's definitely not my comfort place yet. It's getting there. It's definitely getting there, but it's not there yet. So I want to keep going with it, and I've got another project that I'm working on that is also for brioche, which is sort of like the next steps into brioche. So this is like my first steps, and then I've got my next steps, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah, this camera's really having a hard time with the focus. So I'm not quite sure what it's doing. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more and just see if just bringing it a bit closer calms its farm. I don't know if it will. I keep moving it. That's not going to help. Knit, Pearl, and Squirrel. Love the design, the colours. Thank you. So this is the the rain brioche hat from Katrin. Oh my gosh, guys, what's Katrin's last name? I can't think. Anyway, someone please throw, like, a Spanner Chick or one of the other mods, if you can toss up a link to the rain brioche hat. These kits are still available over in the Fiberific website, we will. There's limited, because see this color here, this beautiful green. I tried to replicate that yesterday for somebody, and I failed miserably. So I'm going to try one more thing and see if I can do it, because I didn't do anything special, and I've got the recipe, but for some reason it's not working. So I'm going to try one more thing and then see if we can get it. Otherwise, this green is like a rare bird, and I cannot replicate it, which upsets me because it's so pretty. Rain brioche, thank you, Spanner Chick, for tossing that link in. I'm sorry, I keep touching the table and it wiggles things. That'll be upsetting Kim. So Sally's popped the link in as well. Fantastic, you guys. So this is a rain brioche hat. It's nearly done. So that's Dad's birthday present from July. Now, before you all go having a heart attack, like, oh my God, he picked the pattern on his birthday and he picked the colors and he knew it was coming in late. So there's no messing with Schubert. Thank you, Sally. Oh my gosh, my brain was just like, it's something and it starts with the sh sound. And I was thinking Schneider, and Schneider is not right. So Katrin Schubert designed this. She's got so many great hat designs. This is definitely her more basic brioche out of all of her patterns that I've looked at. So was that the accidental not quite agave? Yes, it was, Spanner Chick. It was. So but I'd written down, like, after I did it, I really liked it. And so I wrote down what I did to make sure I could do it again, except obviously not enough. So I'm a bit upset, if I'm being truthful, because I really, really liked it. I even named it. If I name a color, it's normally sticking around. So yeah, I'm very disappointed. Anyway, that's where I'm up to with Dad's hat. Pop it back in its little bowl. In you go. I don't know why I'm working on this in a bowl. I don't normally work in a bowl like that, but that's where we're at today. Guys, one thing I want to do is I've got to pop a link in, so I need to bring my mouse back. Sorry. We've got a giveaway today. We are doing a giveaway. We are doing a giveaway on, hang on a second. Beep, 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 beep. There it is. We have a giveaway for this pattern. So this is a knitting pattern. It's called Sparkles and Fluff. It was our Mystery Lace Club pattern for this month. So I really love it, and I wanted to do a giveaway. So it's the same sort of giveaways that we did last time. So I just need to grab its little link, so bear with me while I touch things on my computer and hope we don't crash and burn it. I've put the link into the chat. It's a Social Man link, so pop in, and before the end of the stream, I'm thinking by about 11, let me think, I think I've got that finishing at 10:45 or something like that. So make sure you've got it all filled in, and I'll double check where we're at with that after, and we'll draw that. So you've got a little bit of time to jump in and enter the draw. Basically, you just need to answer a question, which is, what's your YouTube username, so that I can say who the winner is. And then after the live chat, it says 10 minutes left. Well, get in, guys, get in. Thank you. I must have set it for about 10:30. So you've got 10 minutes to get in. This is just for those of us in the live stream. I have another code that I'll be putting in for another chat that'll go into the description, or it'll go into the comments after the live stream goes up. And for those that are doing the replay, so those of you that are in different time zones or at work or what have you, as long as they watch it within the first 24 hours, they've got a chance to win a code as well. Spanner Chick says, if you are in the Mystery Lace Club, you already have this pattern. And she's right, you do. Absolutely, I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry. Mystery Lace Club members, I'll have to think of something else for another time, won't I? But anyway, we've got this beautiful, beautiful pattern that we're giving away for those of you watching the live chat. So in about 10 minutes, at about 10:30, I'll go and check the drawer. So I'm going to pop that away. Bye-bye. A little picture. What weight does this use? The pattern uses a skein of Leo 2 and a skein of 4-ply. So like a, oops, sorry, Kim. There we go. I'll move that. So it'll be either like a 4-ply and a mohair silk blend thing. So and one of each. That's all you need. And so I brought this on. This delicate wash bottle is right here for a very specific reason. Hang on, I've just got to do this just to upset Kim. I keep being asked what it is that I wash my yarn in. So when I am dyeing and when I'm blocking everything, I use delicate wash. You guys know I have 11 billion problems with breathing and allergies and all these sorts of things. And so I use delicate wash because it doesn't affect my breathing. I can use it without gloves. It works really well. Even their fiber scour, the Tantec fiber scour, I can work with that with no problems. And for me, that's a big thing because I do get really sick. Bye, Chris Bragg. Sorry you couldn't stick around. Hi, Diana E, who is popping in while she is at work. And so, yeah, so I use delicate wash. It smells very much eucalyptusy or melaleuca, that kind of smell. I'm just having a look if it's got a list of, contains tea tree oil and lemon myrtle. There you go. It is safe for use with biocycle and grey water systems. It's colour fast. It's antibacterial, brightens colours, restores luster, safe for sheepskins. I've actually got a sheepskin out the back that Abby bought that she left outside and it's been rained on. So it's grubby. So I should see if it works on that. Contains tea tree oil and lemon myrtle. It has the merino mark and it also has the Australian alpaca mark. And it's made in Australia. I'm just having a quick look to see if there's anything scary. I react to everything and I don't react to this. So, yes. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about the delicate hand wash. It's available on my website if you guys want some. I'm not sure about how we go shipping it internationally. I'd have to double check. Also, it's a bit weighty. It's about 600 grams, 500 ml bottle plus the bottle. Like 500 mils plus the bottle brings it over the 500 gram dream level for international shipping. But yeah, it's totally available on my website at fiberific.com.au/something, Tantec probably. Stacey says she loves delicate wash. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just seems to just soften everything nicely. So I use it for all of my... So basically, unless I'm doing speckles, I'm just going to change the camera, guys, so that it's just my face. There we go. Oh, see, now we move that down, it's brought the arm into the shot. I hate that. So it is definitely, it's one of those things that when I'm pre-soaking the yarn for dyeing, I'll put in like 20 mil. There's actually this really cool little... It's like the oil things for your car, so you can actually just squeeze in the amount you need and just tip that straight in. It's really handy. So yes, it is an Aussie brand, Alison. It's actually made here in Queensland. And Kim's right. I've got little bottles. They're just not handy. I should have grabbed one of those too. Yeah, little, like it gives you, I think there's like 100 or 120 mils in there, which gives you like 4 or 5 rinses. But yeah, so the, my brain is just on a total tangent right now. Yeah, so when I'm dyeing, sorry, now I know where I'm up to. When I'm dyeing yarn, like hand dyeing all the yarns that we dye, everything gets soaked in this first. So it's skeined, it's got its little cable tie popped onto it, gets popped into a big soaking bucket with some of this in it, just to lift some of our hand grease from when we're skeining it. Everything comes on cones, so it's coming through mills, so it's normally been wrapped in a, not wrapped, but coated in a little bit of just machine oil. Nothing too scary or dramatic, but enough that it can hinder the dyeing process. When I'm dyeing speckles, I don't soak in this. I actually soak in acid. So I'll have a separate soak bucket if I'm doing sprinkles, generally speaking. The delicate wash doesn't need to be rinsed, does it? No, it doesn't. No, you just wash it in it and you just let it dry. And that's the same for, they've also got something called felting finish. And so, again, you use it and you don't have to rinse it out. It can stay in. It helps the antibacterial properties of your product at the end. But yeah, I love the smell and I love how it makes the yarn feel. It's just, I don't know, like I've got nice yarn for a start. So, I mean, I'm pretty spoiled. But I think it just seems to just add just a softness to it anyway. And so I really like that. And then also because it doesn't affect my skin and it doesn't affect my breathing. Now that's not to say it won't affect somebody's. I'm pretty I'm pretty like down there with the immune system, but I definitely have no problems with this particular product, which I just love. Stacey says she thinks it keeps bugs away. Yeah, well, it's got the melaleuca in it. I don't normally have much problem with actual bugs in my yarn. I don't so much get, and actually I've never put it down to this. It possibly could be this. I don't know. And Spanichick is right. If you're unsure, grab a little bottle. They're only like $2.50, but the big bottle's only $11. And if you're in Australia, it's flat rate shipping anyway. And then keep in mind it lasts forever. Yeah, it doesn't really go off. So yeah. Now, I need more tea. What's the time? We're nearly ready to close that drawer. So how are you guys going? Have you all entered? I don't even know how many of you are in chat. How many of you are in chat today? No idea. Allegra says a 500ml bottle lasts me at least 6 months. Absolutely. You only need about a capful for a tub. Yeah, I don't use the cap. I use the squeezy thing. The Game of Widows. I'll pop a link back in, you guys. Hang on a second. We've got a pattern giveaway, and I'm going to throw the link in because I forgot to give it to the mods beforehand. There you go. There's a link. You've only got a couple of minutes to go in to win a. Oh, there you go. Spanichick's got it. Thank you. To go in and get a free pattern for the Sparkle and Fluff knitted lace pattern. I'll pop the picture back up. No, I can't. I didn't put it here. Sorry. How do we enter again, please? You need to click on this link, and it will ask you a question. The question is, what's your YouTube username? And it's just so that when I call out the name, I'm calling out one of these names, so whoever we know is right in the chat wins. Jackie says there's only 4 thumbs up. That doesn't sound right. Hit the thumbs ups, you guys. It actually doesn't sound right at all. Anyway, what else have I got? I've got so many things. 30 watches, 22 thumbs. Thank you. I don't want to start the next thing because we're about to draw the pattern, so I've only got like 2 minutes. So ask me some questions, you guys. Oh, hello. Camera's up. Half an hour's up. I've really got to work out a way around this, don't I, you guys? It really is quite frustrating. Whoops, there we go. I don't know what to do about it, honestly. I'm a bit short of buying a new camera, which I can't do right now. We've done our dash for our new tech gear. I forgot when I'm on phone, the chat covers it. Absolutely, it does. It says unidentified when I try to enter. Is the drawer over? Maybe the drawer's over. Hang on, I'll just bear with. I'm going to just click the button and see what happens. Hopefully the stream doesn't crash and bone. Okay, that worked for me. I just clicked on it, no problems. So I'm not quite sure. Undefined. No, I literally just clicked on the link right now and it worked for me. Maybe try it again. And it's because it's still working. Maybe not now. I'm sorry, Allegra. I'm not quite sure how to fix that. Alright, we're going to go into the drawer. Social man. Alrighty. We're going to pick our winner. We had 11 people enter. We're going to choose our winner, and it chooses randomly for us. Chooses winner randomly. Choose a winner. There we go. And our winner, oh, that's hilarious. It's Kim. Kim, do you want me to redraw, or would you like another copy? Oh, there you go. If I win, it's Allegra's. There you go, Kim. Allegra, you just won. That's so bizarre. I'll send you the link. Oh, that's weird. And I also don't understand why Allegra couldn't enter. But anyway, we'll have to look into that. No, there we go. So Allegra has it. That's bizarre. Oh my goodness, that was so weird. Anyway, you guys, if you're watching in the replay, check in the comments because there'll be a new link for you to enter the draw, which will be drawn at 11:15, I think, or 11:30 tomorrow. So yes, we will get that. I will shut this down now. That way we have less things using up my precious interwebbies. So congrats to Allegra for winning the sparkle and fluff pattern. That was kind of funny. That just as you said that it was, that's so weird. Anyway, because Kim's name came up and Kim was like, just as I was like, anyway, you guys saw the whole thing. It was bizarre. I just have a drink. Okay. What I'm actually working on right now is something called the October Cowl. So it's a beautiful, beautiful cowl, and you'd think I would have kept the link open for it. It's really weird that I didn't. Hang on a second. Ravelry. I'll grab a link to make sure. Hang on. Let's hope I don't crash the internet by touching things. Go away thingy. October cowl. There we go. Control C. Jump into the chat. This is what I'm working on. I've literally started it this morning, you guys. So it's not like I've done tons on it. It's hardly anything. So let me just go down here. We're going to bring in what I'm working on. I'm doing it in Cutler Reclaimed, which is why it's wound weird, from the gloves Abby didn't want that I started. But yes, so this is a Cutler in the Pegasus 4-ply sock. The screens make me look very gold. It's not that gold. But yeah, so this is a free pattern if you want to just use it from the girls' website, and it is a paid pattern if you want the PDF. I normally would have just sat on the website to work on it, but because I didn't want to be using a extra web thing while we're live streaming, I decided to opt in for the paid PDF version, just so that I didn't have to, mess about. So my initial chains, which I was really hoping to get that bit finished before the live stream started, they're a bit higgledy-piggledy and wibbly-wobbly from being frogged, like being frogged yarn. And so I'm struggling a little with that. Hang on a second, I just need to get that through both loops there. Come on, you pooper pants. Thank you. No, I don't know what I did there. There's a thing there. There's a thing. I'm just going to skip that one and just add 2 into the next one, because that's what you do when it's not playing right. Bring up the chat, Chantel. Cut the mustard. Yes, that's right. Spanish Chick says, you can just tell me and I'll look it up. I know, but it was a bit of a hinky one, that I knew that there was a couple of things called the same thing, and I wanted to make sure we got the right one. But it's there now. You can keep sharing it. Yellow and mustard tends to look amazing on redheads. Yes, it does, doesn't it? I was tossing up whether or not to actually, because the pattern there is very, I'll see if I can grab a copy of the pig, just to throw up on the screen. I hope she doesn't get upset at me. Save, OBS, add an image, cow. Sorry, you guys. While I just quickly do this, browse, desktop. I did just put that on the desktop, right? Where did I save it? Save image as this PC desktop. Oh, I see why it's being cancelled. Hang on. Yeah, it does. It's kind of like Kim saying it matches the color almost exactly. And it is definitely, it definitely made me feel that way. Like I was definitely like really, because I was tossing up what to do with this particular pattern, and it was just like, this is definitely, hang on, copy image. It's not letting me do it. She's got extra security, so I can't. Anyway, so I hope some of you guys can see it. So, what I'm talking about, hang on, save image as, is it letting me save as, yes, there we go, hang on, I've got it as a JPEG now. Browse, JPEG, there we go, open. Okay, there it is there. That's a very big picture. Let me see if I can just crop it down a little. There we go. And I'll bring my yarn over here to keep working on it. But yes, so basically it's a beautiful cowl, uses a single skein of yarn, and you know, you can't really go wrong with a nice single skein pattern, can you? Color-coded hook sizes, yes, this is a 3.5 mil. Yes, that's right. And it does. It just about, like, I was scrolling through and I was looking at, like, there was like 3 different patterns I was tossing up between. And believe it or not, I think it was the color of this one that just made me go, you know what? I know it's going to look good, because I wanted to use this particular yarn. I'm like, I know it's going to look good in this color because that's the color they've used. But yeah, I was tossing up whether or not to add in, like, border it in like lake or moran or one of those sort of tealy colors. But then I decided, you know what? I'm just going to do it in a single color and see how it goes. Do you guys ever sort of decide just to go the more basic route just because, oops, sorry, I didn't realize that was so blurry. Just to go the more basic route just because you can? Or do you ever sort of just go, this needs to be trickier, you need to add more colors, you need to, you know, do all this stuff? So, like, let me know what you think in the chat. Like, I tend to overcomplicate things usually, but I realized I have no brain projects at the moment. Everything requires me to concentrate, and I've got a lot on in the background here with Fibrific at the moment, and it's exam season or assignment season for Abby, so there's a lot going on in the house, and it's just really, I just really needed something that was just something I could just sit and work on. Like, I'm sure the first row with these beautiful cables that's going to come up, I'm sure that'll be a tad trickier, but it's the same for every round, so you get into a zone. Spanichick says her Tim Tam is melting. You need to eat it then. Lindsay says the mustard's a very popular color right now. It is. Like, I've got a 14-year-old daughter, so I'm pretty well up to date on what's in fashion, Mom. And so sometimes I ignore it because I'm just like, I hate that color so much. And I nearly didn't go with a mustard because I'm personally not a huge mustard fan. So I went with this lighter mustard rather than the the really bright mustard, because I couldn't deal with the bright mustard. Jackie says it depends on her color and it depends on the project and the mood. I'm very much less is more when it's color work, but it could be because I'm too lazy to weave in the ends. I mean, there is always that. There's always finishing that's a problem. That tone is so Abby. Yeah. It's definitely her when she's being funny. Like, it's not how she normally talks. My daughter talks like a normal person, not like the teenage meme. Sometimes it's nice to do a project that you can relax with. Hey, Holly, welcome to the chat. I really like the mustard. Thank you. You're right. And sometimes it is just nice to have a relaxing project. Like, I'm enjoying my more complicated projects. Don't get me wrong. I love them. But at the moment, at night, I'm just really tired and I just want to sit and, like, bludge, basically. So I've got the TV on. I throw up Netflix or you know, Prime Video, whatever it is that I feel like watching, and then it's just like, oh well, Dad's hat's on the brioche decrease round. That's too much for my brain to deal with right now. I'm on a color change round on a shawl, and that's too much for me to deal with right now. And I'm just like, oh, it's all so hard. So I do nothing. So last night I decided, or yesterday afternoon it was, I decided I need a new project to do. I've got a pile of gifts I need to make. Christmas is not that far away. Nobody in the chat put in what it is, please. Because I don't need to know how many weeks away it is. I think she's still mad at me about not adding her to the group chat. No, she's okay, but we have a group chat for those of us in the back. Oh, hello. Not at all focused. What are you doing? I'm going to get rid of our picture here so that we don't get in trouble. But for some reason, this camera is really struggling with focus today. I don't know what the deal is. I really don't know what to do. I'm going to see if I can turn off its autofocus. Hang on. Bear with. Camera control. Focus. Let's turn off auto. Apply. Let's see what that does, you guys. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. We're about to find out. Spanish Chick's waiting on Disney Plus. Oh, I can't wait for Disney Plus. I think it's going to be fantastic. Either that or it's going to be really, really bad. Sally says, I've lost all motivation to do any crochet at the moment, so I thought I'd wind up a ball of 8-ply to see what inspiration, to get inspiration, but nada. That's such a shame. Have you thought of maybe just grabbing some cotton and crocheting yourself using a stitch you haven't used before, a face washer? Because do you know what? When I've lost my crojo, that's what I do. I go and grab some cotton and just do a face wash. Man, I have manged up these chains so badly. It's so twisted. And I really should pull it back and fix it, but look at me just plowing ahead, ignoring it like there's not a problem. Make a yarn cozy. Absolutely. Just something small, a small project. I tend to try a stitch I haven't done before so I can concentrate on learning rather than finishing a project sort of thing. But I mean, everyone works differently, so you've got to see what works well for you. Spanish Chick says pull it out and work from the other end of the ball. I mean, I could have, but I didn't. Because I've only got a few, like there's not much to get through before I'm into the normal yarn. Like I only did a few rounds before Abby was just like, I don't want those gloves, they are going to be hideola. Knit a bunny, do some Tunisian. Absolutely, just try something that's out of your normal realm. Like the knitting the bunny things is really good because you can focus on the fact that you're making it for a charity or you're going to donate it rather than it being something for you. Yeah, Sally says, I don't have any cotton, I don't want to go out and buy any. I really should finish off my designs, but look, there's no point forcing yourself to finish your design because you won't be happy with what you end up with. You'll be like, oh man, I should have done this or I should have done that. Sometimes your brain just needs a break. And I understand you don't want to go out and buy cotton, for sure, but I'm sure you've got something in your stash that you can use to just make something little. Let's just double check that this is the right way. It's really not, but it's okay. I'm totally gonna just fudge it. Do you guys ever do that? Just fudge your way through and just be like, that's close enough? Or do you make it so that everything's just perfect every time? I skipped a stitch. Hang on, I've got to go back. Because, I mean, I suppose when I'm knitting lace, I want it perfect because you can totally see if you screw it up. Or if I can see the problem, I'll go back and fix it. But if I'm looking at it and trying to work out where the issue is, like I know there's a problem here, but I don't know where it is, then I don't tend to do that. Like I won't go back and fix it, is what I'm saying. But if I can see it, I can't unsee it. Like every time I look at it, I'll be like, yep, there's a problem there. Yep, that's messed up. Marion says that she has to unpick and redo it. Spanish Chick has to undo it. And I mean, like, I've gotten to the point here where I am really not happy with, there it is, I found what I needed. There we go. Because the yarn's rolling around, which yarn does, is want to do, but it's also higgledy-piggledy and squirmy from being used once already. So if you have a look, I've got definite like kinkage problems going on there. That being said, I would be cut out the crinker section, just use the other end, yeah. Whereas I'm like going to persevere. I'll wait until I get to the join and I'll check it there. And if I'm not happy, I'll pull back, because I won't continue on if I'm not happy. But if it looks good enough, then I'll just do that. But I'm going to have to do a count, you guys. So someone make sure Kim doesn't harass me while I'm counting. It's instant noodles, it is. Alison says, I'm working on a cloak for my daughter for her wedding next winter, getting a lot of cable practice with my hand spun. Oh, yes. Cables. Fun times. Look, I love the look of cables. I suppose being in Queensland, we don't really need the density of cables that often. I mean, it's come to the right spot, so I'm happy with that. See, look at this. It's this bit here. I don't like that bit. The rest of it, I can probably bet. No, I can't deal. Hey, Christine Jones from Alaska. I've thumbs up and listened to ads. How's everyone going? Thank you for doing both of those things. I very much appreciate it. I'm pulling out my project and starting again. How's your fluff going from your project to finish? It's going well. I've done a whole 100 grams and I am part way through the next 100 grams. I'm just doing a little bit each night because I don't want to stuff it up. And that is a good project to work on while I am, while my brain's not in a good place. And so I have been doing that, but sometimes I just, I need to not be, hang on, I've lost the end. Where's the end? That's not the end, is it? Oh, see, that's one of the reasons why I couldn't do it from the middle, because I lost my middle point. Are you the middle? There it is. Okay. I'm going to poke this back in there. That's not the middle, but that's where we're going to shove it. Got a little nut in the middle. Not nut, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, I got to chain 112, so, bear with. I hope you don't mind me working on this while we're chatting. Do you guys mind? Let me know. So just, I tried. See, I wanted to get all this bit done before we started. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. Okay. So that's looking heaps better, isn't it? I should have just done that to start with. Up to 50, you guys. 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Let me just double check the pattern to make sure I've got the right number of stitches. 112. All right, yes. Game Widow says, I'd have lost count by now. Stitch markers are always needed. Yeah, usually I do use stitch markers. If I've got to go much over 100, I grab stitch markers. That's pretty much my rule. Oh, you know what? Licorice legs tea cold. It's not ideal, you guys. It's really not. Hot, it's fine. Warm, it's drinkable. Cold, it's really not. I use a row counter app. Set it to step 5 per tap, and then put your phone on the floor and tap after every 5 chains. I didn't even know you could do that. Best teamwork for cast on counting I've seen. I know, wasn't it great? Although I have to say, I would be at like 70, look up, and you guys are still at 50, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to have to keep track myself. So yeah, but I like that idea. And someone does. Someone always talks to me. So you can just, I suppose you can just tap on your phone for sure. Now I need to go and join with a slip stitch. So just let me make sure this is all nice and facing the right direction. Blip, and bring that around and join with a slip stitch. In you go, little thing. Then we chain 2, and then we half double crochet in every stitch. See, this is the bit that's not hard, is the half double crochet in every stitch. I have a favorite crochet stitch, which it is the half double crochet, so I'm pretty happy about the whole half double crochet in every stitch thing. Sally says I'd forget to tap. Look, you know, Sally, I probably forget to tap too. But the other thing is my feet tap a lot. So maybe I would just, you know, over tap and think I'm at 100 when I'm actually like at 43 or something. Oh, look, it's so much easier to do it, not into the wiggly yarn. I should have messaged Kim straight away. Kim, should I cast on the wiggly end or the clean end? And Kim would just be like, clean end, dude, clean end. The tapping makes me lose track. I have to count batches of 10 and someone count the number of 10. And then count the number of turns. Hey, Sharon Waddell, it's been ages since we've seen you pop in. Gosh, yeah. Game Widow says there's someone always talking at me. Yeah, there is that too. I hate casting on new projects in like with the family around, or it's like anything. It's like your kids don't talk to you till the phone rings, and then they're in your ear trying to work out who you're talking to. You know, and then they'll be like, Mum, I need to ask you a question. It's like, you couldn't have asked in the last hour and a half when you haven't said hello. Excuse me, froggy throat. But yeah, it always happens. And it's like your cats won't lay on your knitting until you try to block it. Then they get to cat fur the whole thing in one efficient swoop. I've got a rigid head of loom and I've just finished my first scarf. It's not perfect, but it was fun. Sharon, we need to see photos. Can you put photos into the Fiberific Fun Zone over on Facebook? I would love to see your first scarf. I am a beginner weaver myself, and I am still learning the ins and outs, but I really enjoy it, and I need more time to weave. I need more time to set up. I bought myself because I've got an Ashford 80 centimeter rigid heddle. I bought it second hand, and it's got double heddles, so it means I can do a bit more with it. Not that I have. I've just done straight up and down so far. But then I was given the opportunity to buy a 4-shaft table loom in excellent condition, and so I've got to learn how to use that. Camp always makes me want to get into weaving, then I get home and realize that it's not right for right now in my life. Yeah, there's a bit of that, isn't there? It's Karen Alpert. Karen Alpert hooks us into weaving all the time because she does all these amazing things and makes them look so simple. And you know, you just want to do it all. And then you get home and you're like, it's so much harder by yourself. Apparently you can double the width if you use 2 heddles. Exactly, yeah. I haven't tried it myself, but that's what I've heard as well. Or you can also you can treat it and do more like some of your basic twills as well, apparently. Not that I have, but apparently that's another thing you can use it for. So, but I have this amazing book. It's a weaver's handbook. I'll find a link for it and I'll throw that up, and it's fantastic. It's got so much cool stuff in it, and it's so easy to read. I'll find a link for you and throw it into the fun zone as well. Gaming Widow says inkle weaving. I haven't tried inkle weaving, although I need a guitar strap, so inkle weaving's probably the way to go. I have tried tablet weaving. I did a little mini workshop on tablet weaving, and we used like bar coasters with holes drilled into them. Spanish Chick says, I think I'd have issues with my tension in the middle if I used a double header. That's what I'm concerned about as well. And Sharon Woodell says, thanks, I need a good weaving book. Yeah, this one's brilliant. It's such a cool book. I'll grab a link and I'll get it up there for you so you can have a squiz. Spanish Chick says, I have cards if you want to borrow. Oh, for tablet weaving. I've had fun with it. I had a go, but I don't know if it's really my thing. I bought a set a while back, which is still unopened. That's not like you, Kim, at all, to buy craft supplies and then not use them. That sounded really snarky, and I did not mean for it to be snarky at all. I see, look, this is just so much easier. I should have just done it this way to start with. I just don't like going from the middle of the ball all the time. Sometimes I like to go from the outside of the ball. But I suppose if I'm, like, especially if I know I'm not going to use a whole ball in the project, because then I don't have to worry about collapsy ball problem. But I suppose this one uses a whole ball, so I should just have just gone from the middle straight away. Do you guys ever regret your decision to like center pull and get like yarn bath, or not center pull and have to deal with the yarn running all over the house? And like I regret my decisions all the time. I like the outside if only using a bit. Yeah, that me too. I made my cards from playing cards. I haven't used them. I need to finish the belt that's on my loom. Spanish Chick says I have lots of regrets. Oh man, I have so many craft regrets. I mean, we won't even get into the whips that we start and then we frog. Okay, like we can totally disregard the whips that we start and we frog. All right, because otherwise we'll be here forever. But yeah, there's definite regret. Like yarn purchases. Like who here has bought a single skein of yarn while you're away on holidays, or you were like, it's like it's your treat while you're away, and then you get home and it matches nothing, and it absolutely matches nothing in your stash, and then you're stuck with this one ball that you've either got to find a single ball project, or I'm not quite sure what's going on with my camera here. It's just all of a sudden gone hinky. Anyway, it's either a single ball project, which sometimes doesn't work, or it's a you've got to have to buy more yarn. Sharon says, I figured out why people buy multiples of looms and wheels. In the middle of making the scarf, I came up with an idea for another scarf, and if I have a second loom, I could have warped it up. That's why I have multiple wheels, because I'm like, I might be in the middle of spinning lace, but I want to also spin this chunky thing, but I don't want to have to undo the lace settings and possibly not get it right again. Leanne says, I only use the outside for making tassels. I'm not up for wiggle tassels. Single skeins are a pain, from Chintamani. Hey Chintamani, I've got quite a supply of yarn that's got to go to you today. I've got your 3 skeins of Lighthouse, as well as your skeins of Violetish that you pre-ordered and I dyed. So they're ready. If you're coming tonight to Caffeinated Crafters, let me know. Got to run, guys. Bye, Tammy. Have a fantastic day, night, whatever it is. I'm not sure where you are. But have a fantastic next few hours. Game Widow says, I accidentally ended up with 3 inkle looms. How can you accidentally end up with 3 looms? Spanish Chick says, yes, buy 2 and then make single skein projects and still end up with a single in your stash that you can't find a use for. Yep, there's definitely some of that going on. Oh my gosh. Okay, Chintami's like, I will be there. No problems. I'll make sure I put it in the car. Marion says, I buy too much in case I want to make something big. See, I always think that. I always think, oh yeah, I'm going to get like 6 skeins of this because I'm going to make a top. And then I get home and go, you know what? I actually don't like this colour at all. I don't know what I was thinking. And I'm not making anything with it, and I'm going to de-stash it because it's taken up precious space and I don't even want it. I've done that before. And I don't know why, like it was such a good idea while I was away, but it's not a good idea now. I think it's funny that Tammy had carrot seeds with her. And thank you for the reminder, because I've put them somewhere safe. Now I've got to work out where I put them. But yes. Hey, Vilek, it's been ages since you've made it to live. Welcome to the live chat. How's your Get Squared going? I haven't touched it. I've got to get it back out again. It's tucked away. I put it away when I left for Melbourne, and I haven't pulled it back out again. So, yep. That's actually a project that. And where am I up to? I was just thinking maybe that's a project that I could work on, because they're not a hard brain project. But I think I'm joining on sleeves. Sally says, I always tend to buy one skein at fibre festivals because they look pretty, but then they sit in my stash for ages. Yeah, I mean, I try really hard at Bendigo not to do that anymore. Game Winner says, okay, I purchased a tiny one, then needed a big one for a class, and it was built for me by hubby and my brother-in-law. In the meantime, my folks found one in an op shop and got it for me, and it's in between. Well, they're all 3 different sizes. So it's not like they're all exactly the same. So it's, that's totally fine. That's not 3 of the same loom. That's 3 different sized inkle looms. Hey, Timmy Queensland, how you going? I got bad news for you, buddy. I can't get that green right. I've been trying and trying and trying, and I'm failing. I'll send you some photos and you can have a look at my miserable failure. But nobody else can see the miserable failure, just Tim, because I was trying to replicate it for him. Because I thought I could, and it's not playing nice. In saying that, I managed to replicate the beautiful bright watermelon flesh pink that we did in the mohair from Mystery Lace Club. And that will be back in next time we have mohair. I think all the mods here should get a knitted or crocheted wrench. Like, I'm not joking, I agree with you. Where are we? Will we see you tonight at IKEA? I think I might be sick. Do you have to work Thursday nights, Tim? Is that why you're gonna be? Is that why you're sick all of a sudden? Yeah. All right. Let's have a look here. I'm just double checking I haven't missed anything in the chat. Alrighty. So, those of you that are local, I will be going to Caffeinated Crafters tonight at IKEA. If there is something that you want from my website, you can order it. You can pop a note in. There's a note section. And just ask for it to, you can choose a pickup option so you're not charged for postage. And then you can pop a note in to say, hey, can you bring this to IKEA? So, yeah. Oh, I understand, Tim. You're actually sick off work today, and you may not, you've got to be sick. I understand. Can you bring my yarn, please? And the carrots, if you can find them. Yes, that's already tucked aside with Chintami's yarn. I'm moderator of a chat room. Hang on. All my picks I use for the mic are either crocheted or knitted. Oh, okay. Kirby, hey, welcome to the chat. I mean, we're still going, honey. We're still here. We're still working away. I'm currently working on what's called the October cowl. It's going to be a gift. And let me just get this last sneaky little sneaker stitch in. Bam, we made it. Oh, now I'm just gonna check, do we slip stitch? Hang on, the chat's covering my instructions. Slip stitch to the first HDC. Yes, wood. All right, round 2. Bing, bing. Alrighty. Chain 1, single crochet in each stitch around. Oh, that's hard. Oh no. Oops, where's the thingy? Says Chantel. That's so easy, and then just totally sticks her hook in the wrong spot. Okay. See, single crochets are not my favorite stitch. Half double crochets are my favorite, or half trebles if you're in Australia or the UK. But yes, half double crochets are my favorites. I've done that. I usually end up putting it in a scrap blanket. That's actually a good point. Vilek says, I'm working on a cowl of white velvet and it looks like crochet snow. Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh, yep. Thank you, Spanichick, for popping up the link of the little cowl that I'm working on here. I happen to have flukily picked a project that matches the color I'm working on. I'm going to sneak the picture up again. You ready? Sneaking the picture up. Now, bam. Okay, so that's the picture of the cow. I don't want to keep it up too long because I haven't checked with the designer to see if I'm allowed to use her images here, which could be very bad for me. I mean, she probably won't mind because I'm not reading you the pattern. And, you know, this is the very basic beginner edge. We're not going through the other bit, the rest of it, where all the beautiful, beautiful crochet cables are. But it's a free pattern if you hit her website and sit there looking at it that way, or you can download the PDF for a couple of euro. So, which is what I did, because I like PDFs. Because I like to print them out and scribble all over them. As we've had this discussion before, I think. Definitely like to scribble on my patterns. So put that away, go like this. Where is my chat? Bring back the chat. So in your opinion, was it easy to learn knitting or crochet? Okay, so I don't know. I think it's going to be really dependent on the individual. I crocheted first. And then I went into knitting later, and I learnt continental knitting because I tension the same way as I do when I crochet. In saying that, when I was teaching my daughter, I've taught her knitting first, and she struggles to crochet. She's not a fan. Every now and again she's like, I really want to learn, and you sit down and she sort of gets through a bit of it and then just gets the frustrations up and, you know, hoiks it across the room. So Abby does not crochet, but she can spin and she can knit. So it's going to really depend on you. The other thing is, I found that if you've got a project that you are just in love with, and you just desperately want to make it, you'll actually persevere more than if you're just making like a sampler or a beginner project or something a bit bland and boring. And my other tip is, no matter what you're learning, use yarn that you like, and also use quality, like decent quality tools. Don't go with the cheap needles and the cheap yarn, because more often than not you're going to end up fighting with the tools and you're going to equate that to not enjoying the craft. So if you can borrow a decent hook off somebody rather than spend $10 on your own, or just spend the $10 and get a hook, and, you know, buy some decent yarn. You don't need to buy fancy hand dyed yarn. You just need to buy a decent quality yarn that's not going to be all splitty and horrible, and just, you want something in a color that you like and a texture that you like, because you're going to be touching it and looking at it for ages. So that's my tips. That's all I can really suggest, but everyone's different. Some people can do both. Some people can do one or the other, and some people aren't interested in learning crocheting or knitting because they can already do the other one. Kim says that she learned to crochet later. Hang on. Spanish chick, I learned to crochet later, and it's easier to undo when I made mistakes until I worked out what I was doing. Yeah, crochet, because you're only controlling one single stitch at a time, whereas knitting, you're having to worry about all your stitches. So, and I think also there's a lot more resources now than when I was in high school. Absolutely. We can sit at home now on YouTube and learn. We can slow videos down. You can hit that little cog and slow it down to half speed or quarter speed, and go that way. And then you can just really slow down people's videos so you can just watch it millimeter by millimeter move if you want. Timmy says, yep, I wouldn't have learnt crochet if I learnt to knit first. Oh, really? Okay. So, like, if you learnt to knit, like, you don't enjoy crochet, is that what you're saying? Or you wouldn't have bothered? Is that... I'm confused. That's okay. My brain just completely left. Chitami says, so don't go with cheap hooks. Yeah, cheap hooks are not worth the money that you spend on them, basically. They're basically, you bought yourself rubbish that you're going to throw in the bin. Christine says, I knit and crochet over knitting hurts my hands, so I crochet and love it. That's awesome. Have you tried knitting some different techniques? There's a few different ways to knit. So maybe trying one of the other different methods may or may not. I don't know. Depends on where your hands hurt, I suppose. Sally says, I've had to switch to my mobile, so I can't post links. Wow, Sally. Jeez. Spanichick says, Clover's soft touch or Amour's or tulip hooks for regular crochet. Did someone ask about crochet hooks? Yeah, like, and I'm 100% in agreement with Spanichick there. I'm a Clover. I like the soft grips, so I like, these are the Clover Amour that I have here. I also like the tulip hooks. They've got like a grey version of this. It's a bit squishier. I'm not the biggest fan of the Clover soft touch. I find the Poopy Golds just to be a bit too firm for me because I grip too hard, so I end up with pain. I need the actual squishy softness, but that's totally personal. And so, like, and that's why there's like 47,000 different tool companies, because everyone likes something different. But 100% ChiaoGoo for knitting. I don't have a second place. I go ChiaoGoo. That's it. If I can't find ChiaoGoos, I find a crochet project. Timmy says, I probably wouldn't have bothered. I crochet for blankets but nothing else now because I really only want to work on garments and I don't like crocheted fabric for jumpers. Okay, I get that. Totally. I think you get a much nicer stretch and squish and slink with knitted garments, especially jumpers. But I like crocheted tops, but they're more feminine. So I can understand why you, as a not feminine species, you are masculine and you don't need nice open lacy cover tops to go over your singlets. Leanne Burns says, I want to learn to knit. 2020 goal. Leanne, I will help you in any way I can. Marion says, I just bought a furls, underwhelmed. I'm sorry, Marion. I have to agree. Some furls are better than others, and not all furls are created equal. And I find them to be quite heavy, personally. And, like, because of how I hold my hook, I've got to kind of either, like with furls, I end up, like, down here holding... Hang on, I'll just take this off. I either end up holding down here because everything else is too chunky for my little hands, or I end up holding back here because there's, like, a little dip or something that I can hold, and I don't feel like I've got quite the same control. Yeah, hey Bob Wilson, welcome to the chat, Claire. It's been ages since we caught up. Chintama says Clover soft touch for crochet and ChiaoGoo for knitting. Bob Wilson says cheap hooks or needles cause me hand pain. Me too. Or I end up just like fighting with the yarn. Like sometimes cheap hooks have got like a seam down the back or down the front and your yarn snags on it, and it's like that just bugs me so much. All right, hang on, I've got to check what round 4 is. Round 3 is the HDC round. Woohoo! Okay, excellent. Let me go back to the chat. HDCs are my favorite. Sally says YouTube was my friend when I learned to knit. I had to find left-handed tutorials. I mean, there's always that, isn't there? There's always we need something a bit different than what's readily available. And that's the advantage of YouTube as well. Spanner says, my issue with the furls is that the shaft of the hook is tapered, which is really bad for your gauge. It is. I thought it was just me. Gosh. Hey Sandy, welcome to the channel. Yeah, I thought it was just me with the furls. Like I really struggled to get gauge, and I realized when I had because I've got a couple of furls hooks and I think they're beautiful. Like I've got a timber one and I've got a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous one that my friend Deanne gave me, and I think they're just beautiful, but I just don't enjoy using them so much. 10 big sleeps for those guys that are going to Singleton. Jealous. Game Widow says the same thing. Furls are pretty, but they don't work for her. Like, and some people use furls like nobody's business. And they just like it's easy for them. And I watch them and I'm like, how do you make it? How are you doing that? And they're like, I'm just doing it. But that's the thing, like, and that's why we've got so many different tool companies, because we all definitely have different ways we like to hold things, and we like to have different thicknesses in our grip. We like to have different materials. So, so many different things going on that we definitely need all these companies to support for everybody who likes the different things. Hey Julie. So if you guys are in the chat here now, we've got the Fibrific Fun Zone over on Facebook, where you can continue your chats after the live streams have ended, and then you can pop in like links of the projects you've been working on, or ask for help, or we sometimes just chinwag about other things. But we do try to keep it fairly yarnish related over in the Fun Zone. There are a few rules, so you need to make sure if you want to join the Fun Zone, you need to answer the questions, or you just sit there languishing in that you've not been accepted into the group zone. But everybody's welcome as long as they agree to the three, answer the 3 questions at the start. There's a few don't be mean rules. But yeah, Sharon says, I'm coming to Australia next year to see families and friends. Are all the fibre tests fests at a certain time of the year? I'll mostly be in New South Wales. New South Wales is not an area I know very well. Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show is on in July, and if you can get to it, it's our biggest wool event that we have. But there's quite a few other ones around. We should totally make a calendar in the Fun Zone of all the fibre events in Australia. The other thing is I'll be at Bendigo because I go to Bendigo every year because it's awesome. And I have my stall there, and we talk yarn, and we have little tools. And hang on, I got a bit I had to pull out of my yarn. Crochet Air loves her furls. Excellent. Bob Wilson says yes to a calendar of fibre events. We totally need it. Because like I'm up here in Queensland, and unless I see an advertisement for it, and I'm not talking like stitches and craft shows, because as a yarn crafter they're fairly well useless. I've even tried having stalls at the Stitches and Craft a couple of times, and it just didn't work. Like the stall costs are ridiculously expensive, which I totally understand why there's not many yarn crafters there. You've got to sell a ridiculous amount of yarn to make it worth your while. A snag has been put in place for Gamer Widow's adventures to the... What kind of snag? Can you share? Spanichick says, I went to the craft show yesterday and saw Prudence. Prudence is lovely. I saw your photo with Prudence. There's the, what are they called now? The Stitches Live. That's the one that's at Logan. That's another one that's like, it's better than no craft show, I suppose. Julie says, I love my furls too. I don't exclusively use them, but they are terrific for particular fibres. Oh, that's awesome. Do you use a particular furl style? Because they've got quite a few styles. They've got, Kim's probably the better one to talk to about it, but I know that there's the beautiful timber ones, the polymer ones, and then you've got those heavier ones with the black handles. I blame your stall at the craft show for my fibre. Well, delete that message. Timmy said, is it worth a trip? I was thinking about not being sick for a while this afternoon. Oh, I can't answer that. So Kim will have to answer that, or anyone else who's been into the craft show this year. I blame your stall at the craft show for my fibre adventures. How really? You're blaming me for all of your fibre adventures? I don't know. I don't know if I can take credit for that. Streamlining candy shop. My wooden ones were lost in a move, so I'm starting over. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Oh, it's all my fault. Okay, Chintamani, all my fault. Oh man. Spanish Chick says there are about 5 yarn store stands there, but there was a lot of sewing quilting in particular. Yeah, that's been my experience at the craft show. So 5 sounds like the most I've ever heard of. Like, because there's definitely normally Prudence and oh, my brain's just totally forgotten Young Glorious Yarn, Sue Wheeler's shop. Spanish Chick says, I first met you at the craft show at the convention center. That's my point. Craft shows are totally not worth it. I actually like to sew. So hitting the craft show for me is not necessarily terrible, except for my hip pocket, because I tend to buy so much fabric that I have no room for or time to use. So I don't go. Sally's got to go. Bye, Sally. Thank you. Tim, I'm not sure where you are located in and around the Greater Brisbane area. I know you're around here somewhere, but maybe if you're up to not feeling sick a bit later, you might want to come down to Caffeinated Crafters at IKEA, because you can pop in, have a coffee, or, you know, meatballs, and then, you know, if you all of a sudden start to feel sick, you can always head off and go and do, you know, other IKEA things or head home. But you can come and check it out. Bob Wilson has got to do groceries, worst chore ever. Oh no, doing the grocery shopping is not the worst chore ever. The worst chore ever is if the chickens get in the house and you have to clean up the landmines. That's the worst chore ever. I hate that chore a lot. Oh, you're at Sunnybank. You're not far at all. Absolutely. I can actually bring in the green yarn for you to have a look at, and you can see the fail. All the fail. I don't mind sharing the fail. So you can have a squiz and see what you think. Alright, I am up to, I need to slip stitch that. Okay, we have done the first 4 rows of our thing. Woot woot! But then you'll have to show us all the fail. Look, I don't mind showing you all the fail. I actually think it's quite pretty. It's not what I want though. I think it has potential, but it's not what I'm looking for. So, you know, there's fail. Leanne says, I've loved the list of stalls listed for Singleton. It will be the biggest festival I've been to. I hear that it's fantastic, and I keep meaning to go, and I meant to go this year, and then I forgot about it, and I organised something else instead. And so I've already been away because I went to Gympie Camp, and I can't go to Gympie Camp and Singleton because that's not fair. But maybe next year I will do Singleton instead of Gympie Camp. I don't know. I have to wait and see. Bob Wilson says, I've got no chickens, but yeah, that could be the worst ever. Yeah. Who says you can't? I can't. I've been away heaps. It's not fair. And if it was like if it was only like a half a day's drive or something, I'd go down. But it's a 9-hour drive. How is camp? Vicky was trying to convince me to go. Camp's fantastic, Tim. Like, it is a great camp, and that's the only camp I've been going to for the last couple of years. I used to go to all of them. Like, I would go to Gold Coast in April, Ipswich in May. No, there was a Toowoomba one in May, Ipswich in June. Mapleton in July, the other Toowoomba group in August. There was no one in September, or was there? But anyway, there was one a month. But basically between, I think I know this Tim. You do know this Tim Allegra. You do. He's Stitch and Bitch Tim from Brisbane. Um, I I will be taking 1 or 2 or 100. Sorry, what are you taking? I'm so jealous. I want pictures. Oh, absolutely. Tens of thousands of pictures. Here's a technical question. I'm in the middle of spinning some superwash. I want to remain a single. What is the best way to set it? Well, you need to make sure that you haven't over twisted it. So when you're spinning to ply, you need to put in enough twist so that when you ply it and it loses twist to create its like little twisty bits, that it's still strong enough. Whereas when you're spinning a single, you need to spin it enough that it holds itself together but without being over twisted. So if you've got too much energy, it's going to be an interesting single to use. But what I would recommend is once you're done, I would get it onto a niddy noddy or turn it into a skein, however it is that you like to turn it into a skein. Then put it in a bit of warm water and lightly fill it in the bathtub. And by lightly filling it, I mean literally thwack it on the bathtub like 2 or 3 times. Like have it a bit wet and just whack it into the wall of your bath or your shower, just like 2 or 3 times, like not heaps, but enough so that the fibers just go a little bit. I mean, it is a super wash, so you can probably be a bit more like aggressive with it, but not too much. Allegra says we need a big posse to get our own Cool Kids room. Look, it's not that big a posse to get your own Cool Kids room, really. Like, what do we need? Like, there's 1, 2, there's I thought 6 or 8 or something in a room to have the Cool Kids room. So Hyphenated Crafters tonight. I'm very much excited and looking forward to that. And then tomorrow I'm continuing to work on Mystery Lace Club because that is going out next week. And get that ready. Would the superwash felt enough for the single to hold together? Look, probably. And that's as close as I can get. I mean, if you're finding that it's not holding together enough, there might not have been enough twist, because you really, because superwash doesn't felt great, but it will felt a smidge. So it might be you might have to do like 4 or 5 whacks instead of 2. But you'll see it. Like when you whack it 1 or 2 times and you just open it out, you'll be able to see if it's sort of just the fibers are coming together a little, because you just want it a little. I spun it long draw, if that makes a difference. So that's a worsted. So that should help. It should help, but it's still superwash. Cool room. I had visions of portable fridge thing on trailers and wondering what you were storing in it. Look, there are times when I would literally sleep in one of those. Sorry, my camera's playing up. But although it did a thing and then went back on by itself, and then I touched it, I think, I'm curious. I had visions of portable fridge things on trailers and wondering. No, there are times when camp is a bit warm and I think I would like to sleep in a cold room right now. So it's, one of those sorts of things. Camp is fun. Like, the reality is camp is fun. There is definitely some little quirks of the different camps that there are. You've got, sometimes it's the food that's the problem, sometimes it's the bed that's the problem, but the reality is you're there for 2 nights and sort of 2.5 days, and you get to sit and spin and knit and crochet to your heart's content. It's with someone else preparing all the meals. You're not having to worry about it. Alison says I fill my singles by alternating in hot, then ice water for about 5 minutes each, and then do this a few times, and then whack the skein on the kitchen bench a few times to finish off. I just use hot water with so when I'm soaking it, so a little bit of sudsy hot water, like it's normally got a bit of this in it. Go the delicate wash. Bit of sudsy hot water, and I thwack it that way. Spanish Chick says that's what I love about Stacey's, the catering. That's the thing, like, we were having a discussion, Allegra. I think that was the thing. And we were discussing like different people's first, like, why I go to camp, and it's because you get to have a weekend away without cooking. Was like the predominant, like, I don't have to cook this weekend. You know, I don't have to prepare all the family's meals this weekend, and you know, all that sort of stuff. Allegra says, honestly, the meal stuff not being done by me is the main allure. See, that's it. Like, there's so many people who think that. When I worked at a sport and rec camp, the first place we'd go when we came into walk was the walk-in freezer for a few minutes. Hey, I don't blame you at all. And Allegra, you're also 100% right. It's important to remember that it's camp, not a hotel or an Airbnb. And if you're expecting hotel or Airbnb style accommodation, you are going to be disappointed. And yes, I agree with Spanichick as well. It's not just the cooking, it's the planning, it's the washing up. And that's something I love about camp. You just be sitting in your chair and, you know, spinning or knitting or whatever it is that you're doing, just sitting there in a little circle having a chin wag. And then someone yells out, lunch is ready. And everyone's just like, oh, it's lunchtime. And off we go. And then you sit back down and be like, you know, this workshop's starting over here. And you're like, oh, I signed up for that one. And you wander over and, you know, you don't have to think or plan about anything because someone is there on it. Like the organisers of the camps are fantastic, some more than others, but there's usually someone reminding you meals are starting. Or I think the only one that gets missed a little bit is usually breakfast, because sometimes the breakfasts happen like at 7 o'clock, and you know, some of us like to sleep in on the weekend. So, you know, you're like, oh, but that's it. That's your worst case. So, but everything else is really good. And you can normally chat to a roommate and be like, if my alarm doesn't go off, I really do want breakfast. Can you make sure, you know, you give me a poke or something? Like, wake up. So a lot of camps I've been to have dorm style sharing rooms, which can be a pain if they shove too many people in. Yeah, look, that happens as well. There's a camp that I've been to that I love, and I think they organise it really, really well. They have fantastic workshops and the spaces are great, but every now and again they forget to cap it, and you end up with people in bottom and top bunks. So you could have like anywhere from 10 to 16 people in a room. That's too many. And like if you've got to deal with that many people sharing showers and things like that, I think that's too many. In saying that, I've been to other camps that just had bigger areas. They still had the same overall number at the camp, but you only had 4 or 6 people in a room. So I think that 6 number is like a good number. Personally, I don't do top bunks. So I'm always on a bottom bunk. So if there's someone sleeping in a bunk above me, I actually stress while I'm asleep. But yeah, hang on a sec. I missed someone's comment there. Crochet camp or weaving camp. These particular camps that we're talking about, southeast corner of Queensland, they're everything. It's crochet, spinning, knitting, weaving, felting, dyeing. There's just so many things. If you want to learn how to do eco dyeing, then there's normally a workshop being run. Or you normally know when you're signing up what kind of workshops there's going to be. Alison says, and then add everyone snoring. Yeah, I recommend taking earplugs to camp. Absolutely. And I even take extra earplugs to offer my roommates. And you're also going to be in a room with folks on different sleep schedules. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kim says, I usually pay a surcharge for a single room if there's one available. There's normally not one available at any of these camps. Again, when it says I'm hopeless with brekkie at the camp. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We shared a room. I shared a room with Allegra at this last camp, and there was these 2 other ladies in our room, and they would actually go to bed a bit earlier than us, but they'd leave the light on, and they could sleep with the light on, and so we would totally be able to come in and do what we need to do without sneaking around with torches and stuff. Not that we could sneak very well in that room. The floor made noise. Tim says I'd take my tent. The other side of the coin is they were usually up earlier than us. If you accept you're going to be interrupted and just be an adult, it's usually fine. Yes, absolutely. Julie, yes, all the fibers. It's fantastic, actually. And I love it because when I'm at a camp, I used to go as like fiberific and take a big stall and do all that sort of stuff. And I'd be like in work mode, you know. But over the last couple of years, I've actually decided just to do 1 or 2 camps a year instead of 9. And I just sit there, I take my chair, I've got my spinning wheel, maybe a couple of projects, and I just sit there and chill and just spin. And I probably get more spinning done at a camp than I do for like 6 months. So I just sit back and chill, and I just watch what's going on, and I look, and there's so many amazingly talented yarn crafters and fiber artists out there that are willing to share their information. And at these camps, it's just phenomenal. You've normally just got to pay for like supplies, and then the actual instruction is free. And you know, sometimes you've got to buy their supply kits, or sometimes, and you know all this up front, you know this going in. So sometimes you need to buy their supply kit, or they give you a list of things you need to bring. So Kim's apparently not an adult, and I'm not surprised. So yeah, Alison says she's offered to pay more for her own room, but they don't offer it. Yeah, they don't normally. And flushing the toilet during the night could also tick people off. You know what? If people get ticked off by a flushing toilet, then they need to grow up, because I'm not flushing, if that makes sense. Do they allow people to sleep in their cars? Look, I've been to one camp where a lady has like a camper thing and she brings that. But it's I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, I could easily set the back of my car up to be quite comfortable, but I would think spiders would climb in my window, so I couldn't sleep. So I will sleep in the rooms with the screens, thanks. Most of the time it's the fibers I can't hit. Oh, okay. You don't have to, like, that's the thing, you guys. It's like everything is totally optional. You don't have to do any workshops. You don't have to do any. You can literally sit there and sleep in a chair the whole weekend and do no craft if you wanted. It's totally up to you what you do. So, most is the safe thing. Most would say no. I think so. I think most would say no. I think that they would expect you to sleep up in the rooms. Although in saying that, I know that there was a lady at Gympie who was sleeping in her bus. So, yeah. Kim says, I just drink. Some camps don't let you drink, I've noticed. Although I have found that, you know, I'm just drinking my tea. So yeah. And Jackie says, these camps are usually around $200 for all accommodation and meals. Oh, that's the other thing. They're cheap. 2 nights accommodation, 6 meals a day, and sometimes workshops include, some of the workshops are included. $200, like, yeah. Wait, no wine. What? That doesn't mean you can't. Exactly right. Like, some of them are religious camps. So the different spinning groups have been able to get a deal at a religious camp. And so there's like the no booze rules. But as I said, you know, like, it doesn't mean you can't. It just means you're not allowed to openly, or leave your wine bottles in the bin, or, you know what I mean? Like, obvious things that I've seen people at camps do when they're not supposed to drink at them. You know, there's definitely ways to get around all of this stuff if you really want to. One time I dragged my sleeping bag to the common area to get some quiet sleep. That was a bad week, but the others were good. Yeah, Jackie says if you're discreet, most are fun. That's exactly right. Marion says, I'm taking wine and dessert wine. Sharon says, I don't think the religious camps would work well for me. Yeah, it's about being subtle, honestly. It's just about having a little bit of tact, a little bit of class, and not making a mess, really, is what it boils down to. Because, you know, you're over 18. It's not illegal. Or be blatant, like I was at Garapine. Garapine's different, though. You're allowed to have booze there, so packing your own wine's no biggie, because they're like, hey, wine and cheese is out. And there's another camp that does that has a wine and cheese. I think it's, oh, I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah, it's totally respecting as well. Sadly, yes, way over 18. Yeah. Does Gold Coast do wine and cheese night? I don't know if Gold Coast do. Maybe they do now. It's been a while since I've done Gold Coast. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, you do. You learn how to stash your wine. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to scoot. It's been fantastic. If you've got an order that you want me to bring to Caffeinated Crafters tonight, chuck it in the website. If you've got something you want me just to bring to look at, send me a message. Instagram, Facebook. You guys know how to get onto me. And pop in a request like, hey, can you bring something for me to have a look at? And I'll bring it. No expectations to purchase if you just want to look at something. But yeah, so I'm going to head off. My next round of this is a bit more tricky, so I need to sit and have a look at it. So I'm going to have a look at the next round while I eat my lunch and then get on to the next task for today. It's been fantastic hanging out with you guys, and I've really enjoyed it. We definitely need to get together for a camp, so I've got to try and work all that out. Next week, same bat time, same bat station for Fiberific Chat. And you may see how I'm going with this. I may have finally finished this. Unlikely, but possible. So have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic weekend. And for those of you on the other side of the world, have a good sleep tonight. And for the rest of you, I'll see you tonight at Caffeinated Crafters. Bye. Oh, click the right button. Let's click the right